Hello and welcome back to Chesterton Road. In this video I'm going to be adding some lighting to the signal box. I did briefly mention the signal box in my previous video. It's based on one local to me which is now closed at Offord Darcy. I'll add a little picture there to show the one it's based on. Fairly simple construction, fairly basic design. I've not added an interior to it yet, but I will do that in the future once I've sort of researched a little bit more into what exactly it would look like in there. Now the LEDs I'm going to be using, or the LED, there'll only be one, are these little ones here, which I got off eBay a couple of years ago. They're little 1.5mm SMD LEDs. Got a pack of 20 with 20 resistors for only a few quid, I think they were. But they seem to work fairly well. So the plan is I will mount the LED just on the sidewall here, and then one of the things that I wanted to do, rather than having sort of wires attached to it and then them sort of disappearing down into the building, which can look a bit unsightly, I wanted to sort of try and hide that as best I could. So what I'm going to be using is this stuff here, which is the copper earth core, which I've stripped out of some, I think it was either 1mm or 1.5mm twin and earth, so the sort of flat grey domestic cable that you'd have on your lighting circuit. It's really easy to work with. Obviously you can bend it into shape very easily. It will stay in the shape that you bend it into, so it's ideal for this kind of thing. It's actually very useful for other things as well. I've used it to make up a bit of drain pipe, which I've used on the service shed, and sort of any kind of pipe work, stuff like that, it's quite good for. So I've already pre-made the two pieces that I need, which are these two pieces here. What I'll do, I'll just trial fit them into the box so you can see how they're going to fit. Okay, so I've checked that they fit okay, and as you can see I've now soldered the LED into place as well. I didn't video myself soldering. I don't think that's anything that anybody needs to see, but it's effective. It's fixed quite solid on there. So the next job will be just to, again, just give it another trial fit, make sure it all fits okay, and then get it all painted up so it matches the interior of the signal box. And then we can test it to make sure it works. So there it is in place, all fits okay. What I'll do once it's all painted up and ready to be fitted in, I'll just add a few dabs of glue just to hold it in place. I don't want to fix it too firmly just in case the LED fails or I ever need to remove it. So I'll get it painted up, get it sort of temporarily fitted in place, and then we'll wire it up and see how it looks. So while I'm waiting for the paint to dry, I've soldered the lead onto one leg of the resistor. The other leg will obviously be soldered onto the end of the copper, and then I've got some heat shrink tubing there, which I'll put on there just to protect it. Okay, so it's now a couple of hours later. I obviously painted it all up, attached the leads and put a bit of heat shrink around them just to protect the joins. And glued it into place just in a couple of places. The glue's still drying, but it's fairly well fixed. So the only thing to do now is to pop it onto the layout and see how it looks. So here it is with the signal box in place on the layout. The roof is just lying on the top for the moment, because obviously I haven't done the interior yet, so there's a fair bit of light bleed from there. But yeah, I'm pretty pleased with how it looks. What I'll do in a second, I'll turn the lights off so you can see it in the dark. I did wonder if it might be a bit bright, but in actual fact it looks about right. And with an interior and a couple of figures up in there, it should make quite a good scene. Obviously this video is not meant to be any kind of like a how-to guide or anything like that. There's far more experienced and skillful YouTubers producing videos with how to do things. This is just how I tackled this particular task, and you know, it's turned out quite well. I'm quite pleased with it. I mean, if you did like this video, then obviously give it a like. Feel free to subscribe. Let me know your thoughts on how it looks, and yeah, I'll see you in the next video. Cheers, bye bye.